Here we are with another Friday Night Live at July 23rd, 2021. That's the date I have. Hope everybody's doing friggin' amazing. It's been a wonderful, beautiful, long day. Chugging away here. Nice, sunny, warm. Let's make sure this is working. Maybe Barbara, you can give me a thumbs up or something on your end. Okay, it looks like it's working. Awesome. I hope everybody's really focused. Today is the full moon. Very, very powerful. My mama was having some challenges, and then, oh, it's a full moon. So,
yeah, it's at 10:30.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's at 10:30 today, 10:37, I think, p.m. And right now it's 9 p.m. So in an hour and a half, maybe during the Zoom, if we keep going.
Lots of howling tonight. Werewolves will come out. Nothing like a little bit of kidney tea. Always hits the spot. Our beautiful, wonderful, lovely, elevated, highly elevated, vertical friends. I just love the plant kingdom. It's just amazing being connected to Mother Nature. Let's see if anybody has anybody joined us. How are you doing, Barbara? Everything okay?
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk to you as honestly as I could about, being using painkillers over that my doctors have been giving me over like the past few years, because being in a lot of pain. And
It's
yeah,
kind of hard to hear you, Barbara. I don't know.
uh-huh. Yeah, is wanting. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, I thought I really wanted to talk to you tonight and be just get as honest as I can be about, I'm being told, I was in a lot of pain, not totally understanding where it's coming from. And
Physical
doctor,
pain, emotional.
physical. I mean, I walk with like a limp, and I have, yeah. Um, I've been given, the diagnosis that I got with degenerative bone disease, rheumatoid arthritis, spinal cervical myelopathy, spondylosis. I have all these like terrible
The
diagnoses.
more diagnosis, the more fashionable it is today.
Mhm. And it's funny because my daughter is like, "You're being a drug addict," and she's going, "You need to go talk to your doctor. You need to go see your doctor." And I'm trying to tell her, but that's who's giving me these drugs. When I go talk to them, right? But yeah, trying to, and then the final when this doctor sent me to this pain specialist, they decided what you need is marijuana. And I'm trying to tell them that, that's always pretty much made me feel more confused and more paranoid. But they're like, yeah, well, this is, you just have to figure out how to use it, because this is something that can help get you off of the pharmaceuticals. But, the last thing they were giving me for heart, and they're saying, oh, and you have to take this medication with food. And, I just feel like really kind of like a little bit lost my way of, I'm going to show people that we can be so much healthier than they believe in our old age. And what I've known, what I've seen about fasting, and all the benefits that I've seen there. But right now I'm not sure how to move forward, because I was in so much pain about 2 weeks ago at my daughter's, that I was actually just like screaming, in pain. And I went to try to lift up my grandson, and ended up like falling. Luckily, he fell on me. But that was scary because I had balance problems. So I'm watching, just trying to figure out, I feel like I'm all balled up somehow. I'm in this like big catch 22 knot, and I'm not sure
It's
exactly how to move forward.
for me, I just made the choice of living a fasting lifestyle, and then I just keep going. I just keep going and keep going. No matter how many times I fall off the horse, I keep going and keep going and keep
Mhm.
going. That's what I do. And that's the lifestyle that we support, because there's searching out there for all kinds of isolates and drugs and vitamins and minerals and all this kind of stuff to fix your problems. I
Mhm.
haven't not found any permanent solutions in that realm of going out there. So I go inwards. And, I just keep going inwards and keep going inwards, and it just keeps getting better. Um,
Yeah, my daughter was giving me a hard time about, what are you doing drinking this grape juice? And that's just all sugar. And I didn't, really know how to talk to her logically, how to make sense for her about what I've.
yeah, well, I can't make sense. I'm not here to convince or make sense to anything about to anybody, right? We have a new understanding, and the people that have grabbed hold of this lifestyle, this new understanding, are just thriving. So I don't really go into debating and trying to argue with people and trying to convince people. I'm done with that 30 years ago. I tried doing that and it didn't work. Most people are just not interested in health. They want to put the their health in somebody else's hands. That's look what's happening. The past year and a half. Everybody's running to go get saved. With these magic jabs and so on and so forth. So that's the new way. That's the new God that people are bowing down to. They go without question, and they will do anything they say. So how do you help these people? I'm not here to help those people. I'm here to guide people who want to live a fasting lifestyle, who've made the choice to live a spiritual lifestyle, because a fasting lifestyle is a spiritual, first and foremost, lifestyle of moving in the direction of peace, balance, correct conduct. That's the choice that we need to make. Move in the direction of the divine God creator, or source, whatever you call it, and never look any other way, because there's two ways. There's moving towards that or moving away from it. It's the way I see it. And when we move towards it, life is so much more beautiful. When we move away from it, we end up being in lockdown and all this other crap that we've been experiencing. So I'm just keeping things very basic and simple. It always comes down to V equals P, take away Arnold Ehret's beautiful little formula. Vitality equals power, take away obstruction. That took me a long time to have a true understanding of what that formula meant. And it goes in all levels, on the physical, mental, and emotional level. It's not only the physical. He never really talked about emotional stuff much, from what I remember. And but we can work through we can work through the physical to get to the mental and emotions, right? And of course there's many other levels, but that's the three basic ones that we talk about, because everything comes from the emotion, the intent and emotion of soul. And we are here to experience certain things, and maybe pain and suffering, and maybe misery, or maybe a joy and bliss. I don't. Everybody's going to have a different situation and what they want to experience. So, who are we to judge, to take that away from people? Most people are choosing that type of life. But the thing is, mind control is has been at play for thousands of years, and they've mastered it now. And you can see the outcome very clearly of how that's affected the human race, the mind control. And that's a whole another topic. I don't really want to get into that, but we must be able to see through all that and see the falsehood of what it is. All this new artificial intelligence stuff. This is all, Luciferianism. It's that Luciferic intellect that believes they can make things better than source. I have not seen anything even come remotely close to what source can do. Just look around and look at everything, the beauty of creation, on the land and the sea and the oceans and the air, in space, all the different planets and so on and so forth. And, as far as the naked eye can see outwards, the universe continues to expand. And we can also say that going inwards, it's the same thing. It continuously expands inwards. It's very hard to comprehend and conceptualize in this physical and material realm, but it's expanded in all directions, inwards and outwards. It's just an amazing thing that we cannot intellectualize. And this new artificial intelligence is the new God. The white jackets, the scientists, everybody bows down to that stuff, and they do it without question. I remember years ago, we're going in and out of the hospital with my dad, and there's one particular pharmacist in the hospital. I was talking about the drugs they wanted to give him, and I was questioning her left, right, and center. And she goes, "I wish everybody would ask questions like you." I go, "Why? Don't people ask questions?" She goes, "Nobody." I go, "What?" She goes, "Nobody asks any questions." I go, "You're serious?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "I wish everybody would ask questions." She goes, "My grandmother was into herbs, and she didn't like me going into pharmaceutical stuff. And she always, continuously, teaches me about herbs and this,
She
that, and the other
admired
thing."
her grandmother.
She was awesome. And so I was shocked that, that revelation, what she told me. That's just one pharmacist in the hospital. But if you think about that, that's happening in one hospital. More than likely, that's the norm out there. People don't ask questions; they bow down to the white jackets as if they are gods. That's the reality. They will question everything to oblivion about nature and soul, but they will not question the white jackets, and that's where we're at right now. So I'm not here to convince anybody to trust in your soul or believe in source or God or divine. That's your free will life, what you do, what you want to do. But we here that choose this path, that's what we're here to support. And we see things that were said to be impossible happening and happened in the last 6 years that I have not seen anywhere else in the natural healing thing. So just, you got to keep things very, very simple. We don't need to know who, where, when, why. We just need to choose a fasting lifestyle. And that is a lifestyle, not an event, meaning that you are focused on fasting, not eating, not diets. The diet part, we're all experts at eating, but we just need to have an understanding of what are the obstructive foods we need to stay away from and choose the least obstructive foods. That's what nobody's a master at. Because that's why we have the sickest human race in probably the history of humanity at this point in time. We are the sickest, and we have the most technology and most knowledge probably in a very long time. If we look back in the history of what we know about history, anytime there was big advancements, like in the what was it, the Atlantis, They were said to be very, very highly evolved and advanced and healing with crystals and all that. And then they self-destructed. This is what happens when you move away from God. When we feel we are superior, we end up self-destroying or self-destructing. And that's what's happening. We're on that track beautifully on this planet right now. We've been destroying everything on this globe, or flat Earth for the flat earthers. Every part of this planet has been affected by man in a negative way, not positive. Everything we do affects the Earth negatively. So is more knowledge, more intellect going to solve our problems? Absolutely not. The same mind that created the problems is not going to solve the problems. We have to have a new understanding to solve the problems that we have created. Just look at the nuclear power plants. They go and create these things without a solution on how to control it when they go, when they start destroying themselves. These when they start leaking and all that stuff. They can't control it. How ludicrous is that? To deal with stuff that you can't control. So this is, I'm ranting and raving a little bit, but there's a lot going on, and what I've seen, I don't have all the answers, but the little that we know through our understanding, it's very powerful, because we're going into a place of trusting in soul. Hello, Christina. Lovely to see you. May I ask a couple of questions whenever possible? Yeah, absolutely. That's why we're here. So I'm just going on a little bit here. So I'm trying to give everybody a little bit of a scenario of where I come from and how I kind of think. I use critical thinking with common sense, logic, and hopefully some truth from source, which we have access to when we go on, especially on the long dry fast. It's very powerful time to connect to source. So Barbara, live it, love it. Choose a level, jump in, load up on herbs, support yourself. When you're in a situation where you have challenges, you need to move up quickly to at least level 3, 4. When you choose to eat the cleanest, least obstructive foods. So fruit, and more fruit, and a little bit of salads here and there. That would be the wise thing to do to help the obstructions move out. As the obstructions move out, the body can correct itself in a fasting state. We're fully obstructed. We're trying to put in all these different supplements and things that we're all deficient in. Does squat all. It just changed the environment, and things react because of stimulation and so on and so forth, but it doesn't solve the root and seed cause, from my understanding. Go ahead, Christina. Cheers.
I don't have anything to cheer for. Well, I just want to, first of all, say thank you so much for the work you do. It's so profound and so deep and so soulful. And, I've been joining these Zoom calls as much as I could. And I just feel your energy is like so amazing. So thank you so much for what you do, guys. And
you got to do it.
yeah, and I was kind of writing a little post. I wanted to share about my story, how I came across MasterFast. I'm going to post it, but just a kind of a little brief history. I actually learned about it 2 years ago, and I'm just saying that divine timing is always there. And I joined the group, and I would always see these Facebook lives since 2 years ago. And I would be like, what's that Plath? And what's that guy, Gino? I'm like, I think I should just get out of this group. I mean, I don't know, because
Who is this crazy guy?
Yeah, I was doing plant medicine healing retreats, and I met with a couple that actually during the retreat, when we were drinking the medicine, they were on the MasterFast 2 years ago. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And I was asking, why do you drink this cooked juice? And they told me, well, we are on this master fast and there are herbs and there's this Canadian guy. And we asked a lot of questions. They were like fasting a lot and we were drinking medicine together with them. And then I joined that group, but I was never ready. And now after 2 years, I'm here and I'm like, oh my God, this is like, I've been looking for that. So yeah, just a brief history of the
Interesting.
divine timing. You know how it's in front of you, but you look all other healing modalities. I had to try everything until I came across fasting, and which made the most difference in my life and my health.
So you learned about it from this couple?
Yeah, I learned from the couple. It was in Lithuania. I traveled back home. But I live in Canada.
Right.
And we were doing plant healing retreat, plant medicine with ayahuasca. Yeah, yeah. And at that time, during the retreat, they were leading the retreat. They're like healers, and they were actually doing master fast also with the during that time, and they were just drinking cooked juice and taking herbs and doing colonics. And I was like, what they are doing there? And they educated all of us on fasting lifestyle. And yeah, I joined the group Master Fast 2 years ago, and I was kind of never really ready until now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It takes time.
it's gotten around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, the results that people have gotten, especially in the first few years with longer master fasts, because you'll have more results with longer fasts. Yes, I know, but they're very hard to come off. So if you're gonna be eating, it's best not to eat regularly while fasting. Maybe do more fasting than eating. Instead of doing a long fast and then breaking it. It's gonna be a big shock for you, spiritually, emotionally, and at every level, physically. And it's not very satisfying breaking it, because fasting is very satisfying, and you'll feel like, okay, well, that's an experience. Eating is an experience, but it's hard to match it with the it's hard to match the fasting experience. And it can be very depressing. So, and we saw many people actually, and we're including us and myself, I've done many long fasts, many long master fasts, and it was always hard to break a long fast. It was always hard. It really is a big shock. Not only physically, but physically for sure, because everything, the body works together, right? Emotionally, physically, spiritually, it's all connected. Um, you mentioned Gino Arnold Ehret. I am sure he looked at it also holistically, right? Um, he's a smart guy, right? And he saw the big picture of things, and that's why he's one of the very few people who promoted going back to fruits and vegetables to help us basically become, to help us become less obstructed, because the traditional food is very obstructive. But anyways, yeah. So long fasts are amazing with amazing results, but they're very difficult and challenging to break. And that is something that everybody agrees
Well,
on.
the problem is the challenge is that people are living in a society, an eating society. And if you're living a fasting lifestyle in an eating society, there's going to be challenges all the time. And that's the big problem for most people. And the emotions kick in, and people go cuckoo going after long fasts. So, what's the point if you're not going to live a fasting lifestyle? You're going to you're going to vent it, and then what? Then you're gonna go cuckoo.
And food is beautiful, like natural food. If you can grow your own food, as much as you can. When you see, like, we have raspberries now, and some blackberries coming, We had black raspberries. I mean, they taste absolutely amazing. They taste divine. So when you eat them, you enjoy them. So food is not bad, like, but it's very challenging to just live on your homegrown food, because who did it in our families and friends? Pretty much nobody lived on their homegrown food.
I lived on a home, like all my childhood, we grew our own food. And when I moved away from Lithuania, I first time tried frozen pizza, and then I just lived the city life for a couple of years.
Hmm.
And then I got so sick, like just so sick, like almost I was like dying. And then it was really big awakening, and I embarked on a very deep physical, emotional, mental, and soul healing journey. And this is where I am now in 6 years. But absolutely, like my dream is to just have my house as soon as possible, whenever I can, and grow my own vegetables, talk to them, charge them with love. And I when I cook, I talk to food, and I do energy healing on the food. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So I have a couple of questions, as I kind of wrote them down. So as much as I can ask, I'll ask, and then if there are other people want to ask, then you can just cut me and you know go ahead with other questions. Um,
Yeah, let me just see here.
Yeah.
John Baker watching from North Dakota. Hi. Hi, John. Kelly, hi. What type of fasting is this? This is the Master Fasting Lifestyle. Kelly, John, I'm 58 years old. My son is 5 years old. Life is good. Awesome. Going cuckoo for Cocoa Pebbles. That's beautiful. Food energy, energetic is so very real. Everything is energy. Everything goes back to energy. The reason we're the most addictive foods that I believe many of us are very addicted to are the ones that our mother cooked for us and prepared for us, or our father,
Emotions
the
attached.
all the emotions of the love from the parents going into the food. That stuff is, you can't beat that.
The comfort of childhood, like there's comfort attached, to the food.
It's all about energy. There's nothing to do with the food itself, but all about energy. Go ahead, Christina.
yeah, thank you. So, oh, I also then wanted to share that I did water fasting for 7 days, and it was so transformational. And I did all the mistakes breaking my fast for sure. Like whatever it's a mistake, I did it. But I'm glad that I didn't have a really big consequences after that. It was just a bit of like feeling nauseous and things like that. But as you say, like the fasting lifestyle really calls me. I know that I would want to do a long fast, but I will most probably, when I'll have my personal session with Gino, we will talk about it on a more personal approach towards that. I would love to do one long fast and see, but most probably you build up throughout weeks or months with shorter fasts towards the longer one. So, okay, my question. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Rana.
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to say, just make sure that whatever you choose is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, because many of us, by the way, have done 108 days, and a couple of times, and the second time, the third time, the fourth time, we said, you know what? This time is different. I'm gonna break it properly. And you know what? Same thing. It's really challenging to break a long fast. The cravings will come back, and they come back strong. So it's hard. But you want to have a mindset. That's why I say lifestyle. Choose a lifestyle. Choose a lifestyle and stick to it. A fasting lifestyle. We love master fast when we're fasting, and when we're eating, we really encourage eating the least obstructive, so you don't feel, yeah, you don't feel down. But I say, How do you see yourself living in 5 or 10 years from now? And choose that lifestyle. Do it now. There's no reason to wait. Why do you have to wait? You don't have to prepare for anything, really. I know. You really don't need to prepare so much, because you can change your lifestyle today or tomorrow, whenever you're ready. But you can just go ahead and change it. You don't need to wait. Master Fast is designed, you know, what we love about it is that it's designed to be very safe and productive, you know, or efficient, right? Very efficient. So you get a lot of cleansing, and at the same time, quite safe, you know, like with lots of experience behind it. The protocol is very rich in information. So,
Absolutely.
so whatever you do, just choose it as a lifestyle. How do you see yourself living? I say maybe 10 years from now, so that you have a nice goal, you know, for yourself. And if you want to start, you know, just live it now. Live. You don't need to prepare much.
Yeah.
You don't need to prepare.
I've been doing that, gathering ingredients and starting to eat based on, at least eating based on the Master Fast until I get all the ingredients ready.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and what I feel that I think I could definitely do a fasting lifestyle. I think that maybe doing a bit of longer, because I have some health issues that I really want to heal, and maybe doing some cleansing, more cleansing, a bit deeper.
This is the thing that
Yeah.
many people come to fix a problem.
It doesn't work.
Doesn't work. I haven't seen it work. Yeah, some people
Yeah.
get amazing, then they go back their old ways and they get in worse situations. Some of them are not here. So the reason you want to jump into a master fasting lifestyle is, number one, for spiritual reasons. Fasting is a spiritual, first and foremost, journey. It's not to fix your health. Will your health problems be resolved? Absolutely. Because the spirit is the only thing that can fix it. We don't need anything. All comes from the fields, right? So when you've chosen that lifestyle, you don't have to worry about anything. It all gets resolved because you're moving in the direction of balance towards source, divine. So that's why, you know, yeah, many people, like I was talking earlier, we are in the state as a humanity as a whole, the sickest probably that we've ever been.
Yeah. There's, you know, I know what the mentality, even we have it, and to a certain extent, but with experience, you know, the mentality changes. To get healthy fast, or it's like getting rich fast, you know, it doesn't work really. I mean, for most people, it doesn't work. You know, it's like, yeah, it's like, yeah,
you got to build a strong foundation.
You will feel better from day one, in my opinion. Okay, maybe you will detox a lot at the beginning, depending where, you know, your background, but you will start improving from day one, living and loving the lifestyle. You're gonna make mistakes, but, you know, keep living it and get up and never give up.
Let's hear her out.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
Yes.
No, it's absolutely valuable what you're saying. And even with the 7-day water fast, I didn't realize how spiritual it was. It was one of the most profound things I've done, really. And it changed physicality a lot. I've tried so many healing modalities. I almost ran out. Sometimes I would pray, God, send me another one that I could try. And then I started Buteyko method. I became specialist, and Dr. Buteyko was living most probably Master Fast system back then. He barely ate himself, and he was using fasting and breath work, and he didn't even sleep. He slept like 15 minutes 4 times a day, and fasting was his lifestyle as well. He fasted a lot. So inspired, and I was learning from his son, from really pure source, from Ludmila Buteyko, his wife, recordings. and so really pure lineage, who was holding Buteyko method and his pure teachings and fast. He was so big on fasting, like he used it extensively in his clinic, and but his son now teaches this in Moscow, and there's a clinic and they teach Buteyko method, and they try to recommend people fasting, but people just can't really do it. It's difficult. And so I've seen such profound results from breath work, but it still didn't help me to really physically, but move the physical issues out of my body, but it opened up even so much the spiritual connection. And Dr. Buteyko was saying that the breath work is like a door to spirituality. And so he was almost like not eating, he was just living on prana, on breath. And through that breath work that I learned, the pure method, I was really able to see how I moved from 3 meals to 2 meals a day. Dr. Buteyko was saying, he was living less is more lifestyle. So he was always saying, he would take patients and he would ask, are you spiritual? And if they would say no, he would not work with them.
Now, there you go.
Yeah, and he was saying this is a less is more lifestyle. So he said you need to breathe less, eat less, sleep less, and work more, exercise more, connect to the spirit more. And
Speak Russian?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just a little bit, not like fluently. But I was so fortunate. And then fasting was a part of that teaching, and I was like, okay, I'll just do it 7 days. I'll go to that clinic in Montreal. They have like special clinic where you drink water, and there's just environment designed for fasting in the nature, and there are doctors around. And it was such big transformation. And then I was introduced to the woman that is doing living and loving Master Fast, and she educated me, and then she said, study the protocol. And so it's been like 3 weeks or so, or a month, and I've been just studying the protocol. But it just connected me so much, the Buteyko method and the fasting. And I was like, and you mentioned that, and I was like, oh, that all makes so much sense to me.
We've been recommending it for what, 5.5 maybe years. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And yeah, it's I can see that fasting really helps Buteyko exercises. You know, when we fast, we can tell big differences.
The more you eat, the more you breathe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drink as well. So dry fasting would be the absolute optimum for Buteyko.
Yeah.
Dry fasting.
And this is how Buteyko in his clinic, he knew like he would push people in the healing crisis. So he would make them do 6 hours breath work and in a fasting state also. And people would start vomiting like green, black stuff. And that happened to me at the clinic. I just didn't know. I went for the fasting clinic and I was doing my breath work as usual. And the first day, like next morning, I started puking like green, black, brown. I could not get up from bed. And the doctor came in and he said, wow, like what's going on with you? I said, I don't know. I just can't. I'm so nauseous. I just can't stop puking. And yeah, so this is apparently later I was explained that this is what Dr. Buteyko was doing, breath work and fasting, and he pushed people in these healing crises to deconstruct the disease, the deconstruct whatever is going in the body so the body can rejuvenate, heal itself. So,
Yeah, we call, just remove the obstructions. The body will start purging the obstructions at all levels, and then it starts healing. Can't heal before that. Physical, mental, emotional blockages, obstructions need to move out, and then things start correcting themselves. It's really that simple.
yeah. And when I was fasting, there was like huge library, and I picked one book, and that book was the Arnold Eckhart, Rational Fasting. And I just ate it. I was so weak, but I just read one book during those 7 days. And that guy was like, eat fruits and fast this way. And fruits are good for you. And I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure if he's correct. You know, all these keto diets and everything that's going on in our world. And then like everything is so divine and synchronistic how, you know, I came across Master Fast and it's just unbelievable.
So what questions do you have?
Yeah. Okay. So now, because I'm kind of a beginner, so I think you've been asked these questions hundreds of times, so I will ask 101. So I wrote them down. I stopped drinking water and have juice during the day. However, I find myself still craving water. I believe due to eating some obstructive foods. However, there is another part of me that is very challenged by not drinking water and drinking juice even on eating days. Could you explain about a little bit more about the subject of water? And yeah, it's like it's almost that marketing campaign that we need to carry water bottles, that we need to drink water, and I'm like, is
Yeah.
juice kind of hydrating me, or I don't need to be hydrated? The juice is just cleansing, because I haven't started fasting. I'm just trying to eat until I get my herbs, eat as much as.
Only the body can feed, only the body can hydrate, only the body can purge, only the body can build, only the body can balance itself through soul from source. There's nothing else out there except the body that's going to be doing it, guided through source, through the soul. So, does drinking hydrate us? No. If you understood what I just said, absolutely not. Does food feed us? No, absolutely not. So, if none of that is true, then what does? Where do we get our nourishment from? And it all comes from the fields. So why don't we get nourished when we're in this plane, in this physical plane? Why don't we get nourished? Well, because there's obstructions interfering with the field interactions. It's that simple. Remove the obstructions, the field interactions start going back to the way they're supposed to be. We don't have to know how, who, where, and whatever. They just go back to where they're supposed to be. Blueprint, perfect blueprint. And you start hydrating, the body starts hydrating itself, starts nourishing itself, starts feeding itself. It starts making everything it needs. How long does it take? Doesn't matter. It takes as long as it takes. And we just keep going down. This is where many people go down into the path of fear. You start losing a lot of weight and start losing hair or whatever. And they're just starting a few months, a year or two, and they figure that, you know, everything's going to be all fixed up, because they're not in it for a lifestyle. They're in it to fix a problem. And what did I say earlier? Will your health be resolved? Absolutely. How long is it going to take? We don't know, and we don't care. It's going to be individual for every single man, woman, child, because you're dealing with the fields of the soul, and you need to learn certain lessons. And once the obstructions move out, they correct themselves. It's that simple. Hey, Jack, what's happening? I don't know how we can explain it anymore. Like, the more we consume, the less we hydrate and less we nourish ourselves. The more we breathe, it's the same thing. So the lifestyle of less is more. Eat less, drink less, breathe less, and sleep less. Like your teacher was telling you, Buteyko, it's the same basic principles. He found the same thing as we did. I didn't even know he was into fasting until you mentioned it, right?
Actually, yeah, I wanted to say, it is also, Buteyko happens also, you know, not exactly, but it, you know, somewhat happens automatically, right?
Yeah.
like without even exercise. Now, if you exercise, it's even better, right? You will be able to do it even more efficiently. But it happens on its own. Like we find that when we're eating, we start breathing much faster, and when especially if we're eating more obstructive foods. When we're drinking, we breathe faster than when we're dry fasting without even trying, right? Without before even starting to exercise. But when you practice, of course, you become more conscious about it, and it just happens automatically eventually, right?
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, what starts happening? Hey, Jack. Yeah, we're enjoying our summers. It's awesome summer. Um, doing great. When you come by? So, when we move into this lifestyle, and we start getting into the deeper dry fast and so on and so forth, many things start happening, and we start questioning it because of the program running. What's the program running? Well, what our parents taught us, what our schools taught us, what the TVs taught us, what our governments taught us, what the scientists have taught us, that program is ingrained in us so deep, and it keeps coming up, and we have to let that go. Trust and soul. So that's it. It doesn't stop coming. It's always there. So we have to redirect our intent and emotion to trusting in soul, and keeping that in the forefront of our consciousness, continuously reminding us. When that monkey mind starts going on, I don't know, man, why aren't you breathing? You need more breath, or you need to drink more water. All this kind of stuff starts coming up. You need to eat more. You need to get more fats, more minerals, more vitamins. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. And if you listen to what I said, that one sentence about what actually feeds, nourishes us, and so on and so forth, it's nothing. There's nothing physical. It's all through the fields. Drinking water. I was big on water for a long time, many years, studied water, the energy of water, and Emoto's work, and beautiful stuff. But at the end of it all, I was in kind of a shock. It was a shock to me after all those years, to what dawned on me, saying, we don't need to drink water, man. This is all a freaking scam, just like everything else. It's a freaking scam. It dehydrates you. And I go back in my memory of all the things I've done with water, drinking more water, you find yourself in more problems, So, somebody who's very obstructive and, full of inflammation, they're drinking water and flush their system, they're going to feel a little bit better, but is it going to get to the root and seed of the problems? No, I haven't seen that. Using stimulants and all that.
It will neutralize the toxins
It
and whatever,
dilutes it.
anything that is not meant to be there. But
Nature's
it really doesn't. It only can do so much. We go back to the root cause of our dehydration, and that is obstructions.
nature's solution.
I'm sorry.
Nature's solution to pollution is dilution.
Yeah. So actually, like, I just want to mention, like Dr. Buteyko, also there is a chart. Most probably you know how you measure your numbers, and you can see where your level is at. And he found that what really puts the control pause down, the measurement of your health, the level, it's food you eat. And it's like, if your control pause is like 40, which are like, he calls it like semi-sick society. So 60 is optimal health, 40 is like a norm for our semi-sick society, so that he calls a healthy. But normally people I work with is like usually 10 seconds. I started, mine was like 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So, and 0 is death. So, and I find like I could increase my control pause. I would eat something and it would drop to 3 or 6. And the more obstructive foods you eat, the more you can feel how you not your lungs are breathing, but your internal cellular structure is over breathing. It's having hard time.
Yeah, so what you've experienced and what you've explained is all the answers are right there. It's all there.
But I just need your confirmation. No?
Yeah, we remove the obstructions and the things get resolved at all levels. It's that simple. What you explained is perfectly that simple. We just
Yeah.
have to be able to conceptualize and have an understanding of of what you just said. It's that simple. So Dr. Butenko was able to discover that simply.
Yeah, and absolutely. And he said it's on the cellular level, the overbreathing. He was working basically on removing obstructions, but he called them chroniocepsis, like all the inflammation, pathogens, whatever, overbreathing, which makes you overbreathe. And yeah, so after fasting 7 days, I was doing breath work for like 3 months, no, whole year, every day, like 3 to 4 hours, breath work every day. But there's like a special way of doing it with exercise and breath holds, the way Dr. Buteyko was doing in his clinic. And I could not get my numbers high. And I would eat something and it would drop again. And when I fasted, my numbers went to so low during the healing crisis. It was like maybe 6. And after I came out of the fasting and started replenishing, my numbers went to 60. And I almost barely was breathing. And I was like, wow, I finally understood the core of Buteyko method. It's not about breath work. It's about moving the obstructions out. And then the less breathing comes in, the less eating comes in, the less everything. So it's very profound. And this is why I'm so attracted to your master fast, because it's, not another blah, blah, blah. It's really,
we discovered, that a way for the body to purge like no other. And that's what we're looking for, safely and effectively. And, this is what the master fast system is. It's the creme of the creme in the purging world. That's what we're about, being able to, we're plumbers. We clean the pipes. Physical, mental, and etheric.
Sometimes you need a plunger.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the work you do, and actually, like when Rana explained, and your name is Rana, this is correct? Yeah. Explained about colonics. I had all of these preconceived notions about colonics, and then it makes me tired and I feel bad. And when you explained it, and I was kind of changed my mindset, and I went to get colonics 2 days ago here in Victoria. I found a specialist and I felt amazing. And then I started eating even healthier, more fruits, the less obstructive, even more follow the protocol of eating days, right? Because this is what I'm starting with until I can get into the fasting with all the herbs and ingredients. And I was like, oh, I finally understood what it means, colon hydrotherapy and cleansing. So instead of it being some sort of like challenge and feeling tired, I felt it was healing. So the mindset and understanding is also very important when you do something,
Absolutely.
So I was like thinking about you, and I was like, that was transformational. That enema, was really good.
Are you all the way in BC?
Yeah, I just moved to Victoria in BC. Yeah, it's been a week.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
From where? From Ontario?
Montreal, Quebec.
Nice. Big change, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's a big distance.
Yeah, we drove and we visited a lot of places, and I was on the road. I was studying Master Fast when I had time. I was in my bed on my phone, like reading Master Fast protocol. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to do it, because I was right after water fasting and we could not find sometimes fruits or like vegetables. and I started eating more and more obstructive, and I would get more and more nauseous. And then I still pushed through, and I was like, got to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm okay now drinking coffee. Oh, I can have that, chicken breast. I don't get nauseous anymore, But I started feeling worse and worse and worse. And I was like, I cannot just go back to the way I used to eat. I just need something like MasterFast, I just want to live that kind of lifestyle.
That you're changing your diet already?
Well, I've been changing my diet for the past 5 years, but I'm changing my diet now. My first step is gathering ingredients and at least eating like it's written in a protocol as much as I can. And, learning from you, understanding the obstructions and which foods are obstructing. And this was actually my second question. I find that I'm kind of going through a bit of emotional challenges, moving, and everything is changed. And I'm very sensitive to energy. I do energy healing work, and I find when the emotions come up, I crave for comfort food, and I'm like, oh, I'll eat those nuts, or I'll, have this toast with avocado, and then I feel it stuck in my stomach. I feel it stuck in my intestines, like, and I kind of don't know how to balance those emotions instead of like, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, one big tip is to definitely, like, when it comes to food, one thing that we do our best to avoid is fats, because they're very obstructive, especially when mixed with carbs, which is what we eat. We eat fruits and vegetables mainly. Yeah, sure, you can eat maybe some chickpeas here and there, and like, I don't know.
Stay away from it's best.
Yeah, it's best to keep it fruits and vegetables. um, Except for potatoes, I would say, are obstructive. But pretty much all the other fruits and vegetables are okay. The fatty ones like avocado, I would avoid pretty much all fat, because it's, we're eating carbs, right? Fruits and vegetables are carbs, and mixing carbs with fat is yeah, it makes it's a bad combo for sure, when it comes to digestion, because what happens, the fats keep your blood sugar high for a long time, so it's really you will feel it, especially if you overdo it. If you have a little bit here and there, okay, but it's addictive, so you might want to eat more, like how you will find yourself wanting to eat more because it's addictive. You don't eat it normally. um, so yeah, a big tip is to avoid fats, keep it fruits and vegetables. um, if you want something, craving something else, maybe do chickpeas, lentil, I don't know, but these are more obstructive.
Best to go into the cooked squashes and cooked fruit and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, which is a fruit, squashes, like a
No,
squash
but even
soup.
regular fruit, any fruit, you can cook it.
Like a jam. I was kind of.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah. So, the root vegetables are like sweet potatoes, baked yam. They're better than having an avocado, but they're still a little bit on the heavy side. The squashes and the regular cooked fruit is much easier on our system. Fruits in general, except for the fatty fruits like avocado. The less fat ones, would be durians
Olives.
and olives. Durian's about 30% fat. Olives are about 20.
What's the first one? I'm sorry.
Durian.
I don't know that.
Yeah,
It's an Asian fruit.
it's a tropical fruit.
Stay away from it. They're addictive.
Yeah.
The avocado's like
one of his
70%
favorite.
fat. It's big difference.
Yeah, durian is it's a smelly fruit. I don't know if you've ever come across it. It's in Asian markets. One of
You'll find them out there. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Asian markets.
like, what do you call it?
I love.
It's something that people, raw foodists especially, are big into the durian. It's from the East Asia, Southeast Asia. It goes there from Thailand and Singapore and Malaysia,
Indonesia.
Indonesia, and it's just, yeah, it's fatty and sweet,
Mm.
but you know, God made it this way, so it's not really
It's
super
it's
obstructive,
like an
but
amazing cream.
it's like
Mm.
a donut, right?
Okay, I'll look it up. And I understand, like Gino says, we are all experts in eating, but in a way, you know, when I am reading the protocol and I'm understanding that I'm not even expert in that, like there is so much change that needs to happen, and I'm learning to do mono. So I finally got to the breakfast that is at 12 o'clock, and it's one type of fruit.
Awesome.
Very happy. In dinner, sometimes I, you know, still do something incorrect of the cravings, but I don't think I am an expert in eating. I still
We're
need to
experts at
learn.
eating obstructive foods.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have this food combination chart on my fridge, and I've been having it for like years, and I was never able to follow, but now I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to follow it because I feel amazing. The less I eat, the better I actually feel. It's
Yeah.
just that these emotions coming up now, and I'm like reaching for those not very good foods, and then they get stuck, and I'm like, I need to, you know, somehow to slowly remove
Yeah.
myself
You
from
have
eating
essential
that.
oils?
I do. I love essential oils.
Well, whenever emotions come up, try different essential oils, see which ones help you. They're very powerful. We're working with the fields, with
Mm.
this one, sage. Yeah. So just sniff them away, just
And
and deal with that. But also work with writing down the emotions that are coming up, and then go burn them, send them back to the earth to recycle them. You may have to do the same one 10 times, or maybe 100, or maybe 1,000 times till you be able to deal with it. But this is
Mm.
the way it is. Just there's
it's
no it didn't resolve it yet. Yeah, so keep going down the path. There's no destination. It's a journey, and we keep going, and we keep going, and we keep going. We know when we're moving towards God, we don't have to worry.
it is very normal what you're going through. Absolutely normal. We go through it still. Watch for the full moons.
Today's a full moon.
Tonight is the full moon. So yeah, the full moons are interesting. We get more cravings,
Mm.
more emotional, all tied together. You might crave heavier food. It's okay, we avoid being so hard on yourself. If you fall off, get up and just continue. Never give up. Um, yeah, you mentioned nuts and seeds. The nuts are pretty heavy, especially
Yeah.
cashews, and addictive. Once
The
you eat
ones I've been eating.
once you eat them, you want them. It's not gonna be easy to say tomorrow, like you eat nuts today, especially if you eat a good amount. It's not gonna be easy to tomorrow to say, oh yeah, now I don't have cravings. It's really, for me, it's hard. Once I eat them, I feel like, okay, I want them again, because I don't know, I start craving them. Um, you mentioned washing the colon, right? So you did a colonic. Um, do you do them? Do you do enemas regularly every day?
No, I never do regularly, but a year ago I started them doing here and there. I started seeing a benefit out of that. It came also through Buteyko method that he also was recommending that. But I would always feel like either constipated or tired. And when Gino explained, like, yeah, because we eat obstructive foods is blocked and backed, and how we would not.
You
Um,
start stirring things up. You start feeling it. All kinds of stuff.
yeah, and now I'm wanting to incorporate more and more. So I booked colonics every week now, and one time, and then I will maybe start doing enemas more often.
Yeah, a way to prepare for master fast is definitely to do enemas if you can every day. I mean, even when we're eating, we like to do them, because we just feel better. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
eating is very important because, especially when we are into a fasting, like lots of fasting, we can tell the difference when there's food inside versus, the empty feeling. and the empty feeling is always much nicer. So we want the food out if we're, if we're eating. If I ate yesterday, I want to, wash my colon today. It really, really, really helps. Like I've never washed my colon and didn't feel better. I always felt better. Um, Definitely. I mean, you see it with your own eyes coming out of you, and you're thinking, "Thank God I got it out." Thank
Yeah.
God this is out of me. Now I can continue with my day. Even if sometimes you feel okay, I don't feel like doing it, but you do it and you get all the stuff out. Just looking at it, I'm thankful that I did choose to do it. Like it's just, yeah, yeah. It's
Mm.
always better out than in, is what we say.
Yeah. And you usually do couple of bags, right? Because it the only 2 liters is not really enough to.
We say
Yeah.
6 liters minimum.
And
Mm-hmm.
so a couple of enemas.
Couple of minutes. I see. So I'll slowly build up on that too, like learning from my body and understanding. What I incorporated, I do have kidney tea in the morning. I do have drink grape juice now with lemon, and I try to eat as per eating protocol. And I got my plasma pudding, all ingredients, and now what's missing is just herbs and then like kind of more personalized support. And so I could really begin the fasting days. Like Gino could initiate me on the master fast system lifestyle.
Absolutely. Stay connected here with the community. Community
Absolutely.
um, it's very important to have community support, like-minded people who will help you and encourage you and confirm, like you were saying. I just need to hear it from you guys, so I get a confirmation. I know I read it, but I like to hear a confirmation. So sometimes even when we're going through the experiences, it's nice to have someone there who went through similar experiences to share. You learn a lot of things from past, uh, you know, from people's experiences. I mean, we all really on Masterfast learned so much from Gino because he had so much experience, right? When he wrote the protocol. So we learned, like, I learned before Gino. I took detox courses and colonics and iridology, um, and I felt like I learned a lot. And I worked with people in colonics, so I already felt like I learned quite a bit. But when I met Gino and started and learned, when I met him through the Masterfast. One of my clients was doing it, his friend, just before he started the group, the Facebook group. And When I read the protocol, I was like, wow. I actually first watched one of his videos before I read the protocol, and I watched all the videos on Masterfast. I was like, wow, he knows what he's talking about. Like I watched so many everybody who talked about cleansing and detoxing on YouTube. That's I started 9 years ago, and 6 years ago I met him. Um, but yeah, I learned so much more when I met him, and when I did the Masterfast, my learning was even much more. So there's so much to learn from people's experiences on the Masterfast. Experiencing the protocol yourself, you will learn so much. You will prove it to yourself. At that, after some time, you'll feel like, okay, I don't need any more confirmation. I know the truth. But now it's really a matter of making it a lifestyle and never giving up. There are many people who are not really so active so much anymore, um, and I don't know how if they are how they're doing. I really have no idea. I have connected with some people, but it's community support is very important. Like-minded people, doing our best to stay together and share information together. It's hard even for us, without community support. Without you
Yeah.
guys, it's hard for us to be motivated to continue, because everything else outside, is different.
Yeah.
I mean, that was very stubborn, and he continued fasting for 31 years now. But many of the newbies, like me, I would probably have given up, if I stopped communicating in the group.
Hmm. Yeah, and as I'm saying, I was part of a group 2 years ago. I joined, and your consistency of showing up every week 2 times, it's, I bow my head down. I'm like, wow, you make it, and you're consistent and you're dedicated. And I feel like when your work is really inspired from the source, when it's kind of your mission,
It's not going to
it
happen if you don't show
yeah.
up.
Of course, we need to take action in this physicality.
Every
With,
single day, you got to wake up and decide to live and continue to live the lifestyle every day. Otherwise, not going to happen. Yes. I've seen so many people. Yeah, I'll do anything to heal, and they're gone. Never see them again. It's
Yeah.
30 years, so it's only gotten worse. Honestly, it's only gotten worse.
It's not easy
People
though
are
to
more
change.
into wanting to find that magic pill like never before. It's just wow.
quick solution.
We're heading down the Luciferic path of satanic agendas. That's where we're headed. That's my humble opinion, but that's what I see very clearly.
Life is so simple, um, but it's not easy to live in peace. It is simple. I feel like Massive Fast protocol is simple, but it is hard to change, for us to change. I think that's the hardest thing in life, really, for us to change and become the best we can be. It's really, yeah, because it's a lifestyle change, and that's maybe the biggest.
Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. They just have to decide and not let all the mumbo jumbo out there to sway them. Just have to decide and move in that direction, whatever, no matter what. Just keep going, and keep going. You're going to get all kinds of distractions. The master of deception is always at play to distract us and move us away from the direction towards the divine. So we have to stay committed to that and just keep going. And fasting is part of that journey, is what I believe. So that's why I continue on that path. And not that there's no challenges, there's always challenges. Every single day there's freaking challenges. So we just continue. We're not going to give up. We're not going to give into that agenda.
Yeah.
What do we see most people do? Bowing down, giving in.
Yeah, it's
Even
like,
join them. No, we're not going to join the Luciferic satanic agenda. Thank you. We're going to keep going towards God at all costs.
Do our best. It's challenging.
It's a crazy world.
That's all we can do.
It's a
Like
beautiful
strive
world.
to do our best.
The more crazy it gets, the more beautiful it gets. There's always a balance.
yeah. And in a way, like I sometimes see, but maybe out of this darkness, the light will emerge, and that's really the plan. So people become weaker and weaker. Now already with every generation, it's people are weaker and weaker. Let's put more vaccines, then we are weaker and weaker. Let's poison the food. You eat the food, you're tired, you have no energy. Like Dr. Buteyko says, your control pause is low. You can't do anything in life. You are like walking dead, zombie, So I mean, people don't even think for themselves anymore because it takes energy, and there is no energy left to think for themselves but I still kind of really hope that out of this darkness, even like people who had their greatest awakenings, there was at the most terrible
Yep.
terrible suffering, that near death experiences, they emerged and they were like, wow, I have a soul. There is God actually, you know?
Darkest before dawn.
Yeah. So maybe when the shit hits the fan, something will happen different, and people who will awaken and will move to new earth, and it will be different. I kind of stand for it, and knowing that there is darkness and accepting it. It's within all of us. And that's part of a journey of understanding, seeing it, learning it's there.
Yeah.
And then focusing on light and turning it into light within yourself.
From the darkest pits of creation comes everything, all the source of everything. Everything emerges from that nothingness and darkness.
Yeah, I feel, biggest transformations happen when our hearts break open, like, yeah. And then we are desperate enough to ask for guidance, and that's when we can receive. We have to become humble enough to say, okay, I want, um, God, please help me. A higher power, please help me.
We have another Rana. Thank you for your priceless information. You're welcome, Rana.
So I know that I took a lot of screen time today from you guys. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you do. And
This is what we're here for.
Yeah,
I don't want to be talking only.
yeah, great.
I'm grateful a lot, and I'm very excited and committed to embark on this journey. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, stay
yeah.
connected.
Barbara, have you picked anything else up today?
Mhm. Oh, I'm just coming back to some consciousness right now. Mm.
It's really well, we have to make that choice, and it's not an easy choice because everything that we've been taught is completely opposite of what we're discussing here. you know Trust in your body, trust in your soul to fix your problems. No, I gotta go to the doctor. I got a headache, I got this, I got that, I got the 5,000 diagnoses, and I need this, that, and the other drug, and I need this. That's just okay. If that's where you want to go, then it's your choice. We don't need anything. The less we have, the better. It's what I found, and we've seen miraculous things happen.
So Gino and Rana, I need to take off, but I'm so grateful, and I love and appreciate you both and all the community, and I send you all the blessings, and I
All
look
right.
forward.
All right, Christina. Have a
Yeah,
good evening.
you too, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, life is interesting, isn't it? You know, like Christina was saying, like she grew up, making their food, growing their own food. And she wants to go back to that because really that's, wouldn't that be amazing if we only eat our own food? Wouldn't that be amazing? Grow our own food, everything that we consume, and everything that all the waste that we generate, we recycle ourselves instead of having sewer system that do we really need it? That is attached to a whole city. Where's the waste going? Yeah, do we need to do that? Our food, our water, do we need to buy them? Wouldn't it be amazing to become self-sufficient and generate electricity and stuff like that, right? I think it's a wonderful thing to go back to nature and let nature take care of us, and we take care of it, take care of nature without needing really anything other than God, you know. Just worship the Creator and enjoy nature. And if you want to learn something new, yeah, you can always learn from other people, other people's experiences and skills, and develop a skill, you know. Yeah, Gino, what do you think?
I don't think.
Wouldn't it be amazing? I think that would be absolutely amazing.
Like wild foods, you don't have to grow anything. If you
Hmm?
have
What?
wild foods available, any forest nearby or
Yeah.
fields, there's lots of
I
food.
mean, yeah, I mean, it would be nice also to grow your own grapes and
Yeah, it's all-
juice them.
Oh, amazing.
Wouldn't it be amazing? It's fun too, right? Like, isn't it more fun than what we are doing you know, for most of our days, you know, in the cities, right? I think it would be much more fun to connect with nature and connect with whatever you're consuming, you know. The energy would be different. It's coming straight from the trees, the plants, the sun, you know, without being shipped from so far away, without being at the mercy of anyone, you know, would be nice. Because in my opinion, if we can't do that, then what can we do? If we can't do that, then what can we do? We can't feed ourselves. We can get rid of our waste. We can't, you know, have access to water. We can't have access to energy. Then what have we done in our lives? You know? Makes you scratch your head. Makes me scratch my head.
All right. If there's anything else, or we'll call it a night.
So Barbara, hang on, hang in, and yeah, hang in. Stay strong. Make a decision what you want to do. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. Nothing more, nothing less. Just decide.
It's
Make a plan for yourself.
it's challenging when family members don't have an understanding of what we do. It's very challenging. I've seen it so many times. You just have to lay it out. You know, if you love me, you're going to support my decisions and my choices, no matter where that may lead me. And if it's time for me to jump the fence, it's time for me to jump the fence. And if you're not okay with that, it's not love. So you got to give it to them straight. And, you know, there's no other way because most people will not have an understanding of what's going on. They believe in so many things that they've been programmed by, you know, about sugar's bad, this is bad, everything's bad except what the white jackets tell you. So you're not going to convince these people, and there's no reason to try and convince them. You know, we're in the lifestyle of nothingness. Less is more. Remove obstructions. We're not into addition at all. Addition has only got me in trouble, and I'm done with that path. So people are continuously going down those paths, even after master fasting. They're continuously looking for something because they just did not choose to live a spiritual lifestyle of the nothingness. That's the only thing I can see, and that's okay. So
It takes time and practice.
yeah, it's this is something that we have to work on every single day, make the choice every single day we put our feet on the ground. to live this lifestyle and continues on the path of the divine. No matter what, this is the only place that I want to go. So it's a beautiful place. Jack, greenhouses everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, greenhouses. We can, in the colder climates like where we are, for the winters, yeah, we can use greenhouses. There's so many beautiful ideas out there on how to heat them up and so on and so forth. You know, if you have land, you can just dig, I think it was a 6-foot trench and run pipes, big pipes through the ground for long distances and run it, you know, through the ground back to the greenhouse. So the air is continuously circulating from that 6 feet under the frost line, and it stays a consistent temperature. I think the guy was getting like 50 something degrees Fahrenheit or something just from that. So you didn't have to use much more to bring it up from there. It's free heat. You don't just have to circulate the air. There's so many ways that we can, you know, use what they call free energy. There's no such thing as free. It's always an exchange of fields. So yeah, awesome times ahead. Let's stay focused. No matter what is going on out there, we must stay focused because the fields is where everything comes from. No matter how dark and gloomy it may seem in this realm, we have to keep the light shining bright from our hearts and stay focused on where we want to go, living you know, path of peace, balance, correct conduct, and everything will start manifesting one day at a time.
Yeah, Barbara, quickly, I just wanted to say, don't worry about, I mean, yeah, let go of trying to convince other family members. Just to let you know, Gino and I, we don't have one family member who does master fast or who agrees or understands, you know, what we're doing, and that is totally fine. It's very normal, and they might, you know, worry about you. I mean, for us, especially the ones who've done long master fast, we have lost a lot of weight, and that was a big, huge concern for the family. They thought we were becoming unhealthy when we were feeling absolutely amazing. So yeah, forget about it's impossible almost to convince our families. As much as we love them and they love us, it's hard for them to get that part. So you want to be strong and confident, and that would come with experience, right? So just, you know, decide what you want to do and start living the lifestyle, and you will prove it to yourself and you'll have more confidence. You know, they will watch you, and after maybe the first year they will worry about you, the first 2 years, but then after that they'll get bored of worrying about you. They will find something else that keeps them you know, that keeps them interested in life, and so they're not just here to bother us, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just that like my daughter needed help with her child. She's pregnant with another child right now, and she was told, yeah, I was telling you last time, to be on bed rest, right? Not to lift anything more than 5 pounds. But
Yeah.
I was waking up in the morning and I'd feel like both my legs were like asleep kind of thing, and like in a lot of pain and having problems with balance. And like she watched me, you know, trying to put my grandson in his high chair and falling, you know, and, you know, luckily, you know, I made sure like he fell on me, but, you know, that was, yeah, so she just kind of like, you know, told me to go home and, you know, get help, you know, that I couldn't help her if, you know, I couldn't be healthy.
Yeah, you know, there's the choice of going to doctors in ER or taking charge of your own health. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go
any other-
home or not yet? Are you still?
No, I did. I did. I came back to Florida, and you know, try to talk to this doctor about the pain that I was in because it was becoming like really,
Uncomfortable.
really excruciating. And yeah, and she's like, okay, I'm going to give you 2 shots that should help you get out of pain, but I definitely don't feel good with, the medicines this doctor put me on, but I'm not in that pain that I was in, you know?
Yeah, it's in the hip, you said?
No, it's like it goes down my legs.
Sciatica?
It seems like a sciatic problem, but yeah.
Oh,
Kidneys, yeah.
it's, yeah, kidneys need to be cleaned up. That's, I've had the sciatica, man. It's the sort, for when I was bedridden, big challenges, sciatic and many other things.
Are
Kidneys,
you
and bowels,
Mm-hmm.
everything else. So you gotta clean.
are you living the lifestyle?
I mean, my daughter actually went out and, bought me, the Concord grape juice. They're watching me make the kidney tea. I'm running out of tincture, so I was doing the tinctures every day. I'm starting to run out of those.
Mhm. Yeah. And
Are you eating every day?
Um, I when I was with her, I mean, I wasn't when I was here. I was like 3 days at least doing the master fast.
nice.
Um,
Are you washing your colon? That's huge for the kidneys. It really helps the kidneys. Are you washing your colon?
uh-huh. What with the enema? I have that.
Are you doing just one enema or are you doing more?
Like 1 or 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I would do more. I would do more. I would do a lot of colon washing.
Yeah.
The
Go
best
get a
thing,
colonic once in a while.
honestly, for your kidneys, in my opinion, like the fastest way to help your kidneys is, of course, to stop the obstruction. So, like more fasting. The whole master fast protocol is about releasing obstructions, but for sure, huge is washing the colon even more than enemas if you can get a Colima board at home, and also doing a colonics maybe once a week if you can.
You need to open up energy in the lower back area. The back exercise video I made to do those every single day, all those back exercises, and also massage the kidneys with the burn stick every single day, breath work every single day. Um, just like I said,
Castor oil
when you're
packs
eating, make sure you're eating on. Best would be just fruit, some salads, and castor oil packs.
on your
Um,
kidneys.
there's lots of stuff you can do. Sometimes, if you go to a chiropractor, they can help relieve the pinch on the nerve, because that's what sciatic is. What happens is the kidneys start going in spasms, and it pulls things out of alignment in the structure of the hip area, and then puts pressure on the sciatic nerve, and that's where the pain comes from. It shoots down the leg. So sometimes you can go to a chiropractor, and they can help adjust and take some of that pressure off. But also, when you're in pain, instead of drugs, use ice. And the best thing is you put it in the middle of the back, on the lower back, and you keep it there 5 to 10 minutes, right on the skin,
Mm-hmm.
and you do that every hour.
Right.
Thank you.
Lots of things you can do, Barbara. Lots of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, sciatic pain is I guess you could say I'm an expert of how much I went through that stuff for many years with the kidneys. Master Fast is where I was able to really help my situation at a whole different level than I ever had before in all these years. So
especially
the dry
dry.
fasting.
Mm.
You got to get the sand out of those kidneys.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, obstructive foods is the biggest enemy for the kidneys, you know.
Yeah, look at lower back. What was it again? Emotions. You
It's
got
the
to always.
kidneys and probably fear. No?
Yeah, for sure. The emotions. Dealing with
Kidney problems.
no, back, lower back. I don't know if it's back or lower back.
Back problems, lower back, fear of money, lack of financial support. I
Uh-huh.
trust. I trust them, and the remedy would be saying, "I trust the process of life. All I need is always taken care of. I am safe."
Hmm. That's so funny because that is such a big fear of mine.
Yep.
I think it's many people's, especially now,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, kidney problems, criticism, disappointment, failure, shame, reacting like a little kid. So reacting, and the remedy would be divine right action is always taking place in my life. Only good comes from each experience. It is safe to grow up. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
First posted.
Emotion is the seed.
Mhm.
I want to say, yeah, now I remembered. If you're taking painkillers, they make you more constipated, right?
Mhm.
Slow down your bowel movements.
And only add to the problem.
They only add to the problem. They make you, because they slow down your bowel movements, you become more constipated. And when you're more constipated, you're going to have kidney problems, more kidney problems. You're taking
Mhm.
painkillers for your kidney problems, but it's going to come back to kidney problems. So it's best to, because when your bowels are obstructed, they obstruct your kidneys.
Mhm.
I used to have people come for colonics after doing surgeries and stuff because of the painkillers, and which gets them constipated. So they come for a colonic to wash their colon. So yeah, best to avoid if you're taking any. And yeah, all the tools we just mentioned, and just never give up. Get back on the track.
Thank
Right
you.
now it's the full moon tonight. Actually, right now, I think.
Mhm.
And so you might be feeling out of balance. I think we all do to various degrees. So it's totally fine. So work towards the new moon now.
All right, folks.
Thank you. I appreciate your heart and your mind. Thank you.
Let's focus on the divine and continue. And let's elevate all other souls to peace, balance, correct conduct on this planet and all the other realms, because that's the only place I want to go. So thank you so much for joining. And we'll see you again on the page and
Yeah.
next Wednesday and next Friday. All right.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you.
Nice to
Dana
see you, Barbara.
and Jack.
Thank you. Thanks, Shirley. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Gina.
See you.
Ciao.